What's going on? I am the Snop.
Ha! And I am Jeff George from We Are Harlot.
We have been told to tell you to fuck yourselves.
I don't know why. WGRD is crazy with this stuff. 97.9 degrees all the time with these wild dogs.
There you go. So you're about to wrap up a really long tour.
Very long.
And this is one of the last shows of the tour?
Yeah.
We've
this
got
is the last week. 5
more after this. We have tonight, then Ohio, New York, Virginia, and then 2 final shows at the Amazing Machine Shop to close it out. 2 sold-out shows at the Machine Shop. So.
And you're celebrating a great new album. Your first is We Are Harlot.
Yeah.
How's the reception and how everybody going crazy at the shows, just going nuts?
It's been great.
People singing along?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been a great run. I mean, this is month 10 now.
Mm-hmm.
And so far it's been, 10 months of great reactions.
We've been home.
So as long as it doesn't go downhill from here.
Yeah, we've been home one time for 7 days, another time for 6 days out of 10 months. So
10 months.
We're, as you can tell, our voices and everything are going and stuff like that. But rock and roll doesn't take days off, so we can't. We're very excited to be here. It's our first time as this band here in Grand Rapids. Amazing venue here. So we're hoping to have a great night.
So tell us about the making of the album a little bit. How you guys got the band together. I know there was a story about a drunken night at New Year's Eve. We may or may not be able to tell on the radio.
Yeah, we met at a New Year's Eve party, 2010 going into 2011, and started having a ton of coldies. And as always, when you get to that certain point, you start crazy talking a little bit. So we were like, we should start a band, we should do this. And then normally the next day, you wouldn't necessarily call that person, but we did. And that's really how organically it started. And as soon as we sat down and played together, it just immediately felt musical. And that was literally like 2 days later, we had all moved in together. Danny knew Bruno and I knew Brian, and we just started partying a lot. Yeah. And in between that, writing songs. We wrote about 110 songs in the first 6 months, and that's really, this album's been done for like 3.5 years. So, but then we had to figure out how to get out of all the red tape of everything else that we were involved in, all different bands and things like that. So.
Now, I don't know if it was one of your first shows, Rock on the Range, last year?
No, yeah.
Not this year, but 2014.
Yeah.
I saw you guys on stage last year at Rock on the Range. How was that? It was like one of the first shows, and it's a pretty big show.
That was the first show, 2014, Rock on the Range.
And it was packed, man. I saw that crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
Highest attended first show.
Yeah, we actually have the record for the biggest first show, 62,000 people or something like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, pretty good, right?
That's pretty good first show.
And that's like really like Kiss has Detroit Rock City, and here we are in Michigan. But that's really what Columbus is for us. Like when we play Columbus all the time, we just played a place called the Basement there and sold that out, and like it's our homecoming. So we're gonna play Rock on the Range every year. We played it again this year, and you're usually not supposed to play it like 2 years in a row, but we're playing it every year. That's our home away from home. So we can't thank the beautiful people of Columbus enough for that.
Speaking of home away from home, you're actually not far from home. You're from Detroit.
I am.
Big Red Wings fan. You're going to a game next week?
I'm going to the Ottawa Detroit game. I think it's either Friday or Saturday next week, the 29th or 30th. So going to go to that. We were hoping that we're going to have some time to go. I wanted to bring him. He's a big hockey fan too, so I wanted to bring him to a game. But we are heading over to London here in a little bit. In a couple days, so everybody wanted to have a couple days off. But I'm just going to stay here and have Halloween with the family. My parents still live in Brighton, so my nieces and nephews and everything. So it's going to be a nice little home break after all the wildness of tour.
Nice. So you said when you started writing songs, you wrote a lot of literally 110 songs. Did you write that many songs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like finding that kind of chemistry? You can't imagine you have that with everyone.
I'll be real honest with you. A lot of this record we don't remember writing it. A lot of it was like in between trips back and forth to the house from going between bars, and it'd be like someone would then just have an idea, so we'd run down to the studio and just hammer it out real quick and then go back to the bar, and then next time around it's like oh wait, no, I have an idea too. Let's see if this will. And then the album just fell together really quickly and organically.
And I think it was a lot too that we all get on together so good as friends. It's normal for bands to totally hate each other and people not to get along, and that's really just not how it is with us. We have our disagreements and stuff like that, but we're all really close. So when we were working on the record, we were just friends hanging out, and there was never it was always an open forum. There was never like, oh, I play guitar or I sing. Some of the guitar parts Bruno came up with, or Danny would come up with, or the vocal lines I would come up with, or or piano and different things like that. We all wrote just what came to us. And if it worked and we liked it, then it was like, yeah, that's what we're going with. So I think that having that open forum and being close as friends really allowed for the 4 personalities that we all have to show through the music.
Now, I know a lot of bands have really odd and fun temporary song titles. What are some of your favorite?
Oh, let's see if you remember these.
This wasn't too crazy.
Normally we'd let Bruno name them, but he's already just insane as it is. So
I never thought they were particularly weird. The only one that jumped out at me as being strange was Bush Doctor.
Bush Doctor was a weird one.
That's the only one.
Cali Rolls was a little strange. Let's see. Well, One More Night or Never Turn Back was originally Rainmaker. Flying Too Close to the Sun was originally Bush Doctor. Someday Was Always Someday. Dancing on Nails was always Dancing on Nails.
Swish.
Denial was always Denial. What else? Was One More Night? What was that originally? Something. We've had some pretty funny names. I'd have to go back through the pictures because we have these pictures of when we were, doing the record, writing them down. But we recorded this record 3 times. So
why 3 times?
Because
record labels.
Because we were all on different labels and different managements and stuff like that. So we had to get out of those, and the music that we did here that needed to be done here, and then stuff. But we can't wait to let the original demos come out, because the original demos that we just did ourselves in our home studio are like absolutely on fire. I feel like internally that they make the record look totally small compared to it. There's something about that when you do it for yourself that it comes out so cool, So
yeah, the next record, much to our record label's dismay and disapproval, we've told them that we're going to produce it ourselves.
Yeah, we're going to do it all ourselves.
It's the only way that we get exactly what we're looking for.
We're all pretty strong-headed and have a pretty good vision about what we want to sound like, and Kato was great with that on this record. Kato, who produced it, co-produced it with us, but he basically just kind of guided the missile that is us. Yeah. We just rather just let the missile go straight and just absolutely detonate.
Just let it hit something.
And the closest you can get to the demo and the inspiration.
So what we're doing on this record is when we sit down and we're cutting it, it will essentially be the demos or the final version.
Yeah.
Just with a really good mix.
Nice. So what's the time frame you're working on this? So you're wrapping up this tour.
There is not a time frame
what's on the horizon for your near future?
Taking a much needed month off, basically. Like I said,
almost 3.
We're going to, not really, because we're going to London. It'll be just December. Yeah, but it'll be really just December, because we go right back out again in January. We're doing Shiprocked right off the bat.
Nice.
We leave like the first week of the month, and then we have a couple festivals after that. And that'll probably kick it off again. We'll see how it is. There's some talk about us going over and doing Soundwave in Australia in February if that goes on, and then the touring cycle and the playing cycle and everything will start again. But this album still has a lot of legs left on it. We got the amazing Howard Lesnick right here. He knows.
Howard is the man.
We had 47 hits off it, and there's only 11 songs.
He'll make that happen. Howard can do it.
We're just going to do each one a few times.
And we got WGRD, of course. You guys are playing the song like 300 times a day, so...
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Shiprocked. I know this is something that's come along in the last few years and become a really popular thing. Have you guys done one of the cruise ship shows before?
I haven't.
No.
Because I was going to ask, with these things, it's like such a different environment because everybody's trapped on this boat together. You're kind of right there with the fans and right there with the other bands. I was gonna, what are you expecting from this? What do you think is going to happen?
One hell of a hangover.
You see how we are. I mean, we just did a meet and greet with you with like 20 people, and we just went right out there and shook hands and talked. I mean, we're still fans of music ourselves. So, like, if we go to see Black Sabbath or Van Halen or Aerosmith, we're just like that. We're like, oh man, this is so cool, So the fan is never out of us. So to go and hang out with so-called fans, to us they're more just their friends. You know what I mean? We're just our friends. So to be with them and to be hanging out with them that's awesome. That's what it's all about. Rock and metal, man, it's a community. We're all in this thing together. So so I think some artists might get a little freaked out about being in close proximity with everybody like that. For us, we're just gonna tear it up and lead the party.
Okay, you have to pick one band that's your ultimate tour companion. Who do you want to tour with the most?
Yeah, there's like 4.
Yeah, it's tough.
Okay, 4 bands.
Stones, Aerosmith, Van Halen, and
AC/DC.
Yeah.
Would be cool.
That's some pretty good company right there.
Kiss, of course, that's the reason I started playing music. Those guys, the bands that we looked up to the most is always the ones that we'd want to go out on tour with. Not everybody always sees it that way, in the music business. But for us, that's what we'd always want to do, is to play with the people that made us want to play. So even like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and all those great bands, man, that's who we'd love to go out on tour with more than anything.
Just saw Judas Priest in Vegas over the weekend.
Awesome, right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Rob just killing it. And it's our buddy Richie Faulkner on guitar.
He's amazing. I saw him with Lauren Harris when he was touring with her, opening for Iron Maiden.
Opening for Maiden.
And I remember seeing him going, this guy is unbelievable. And then he got the job in Priest. I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah. He wears his Harlot shirt a lot of times doing press and stuff with those guys. We're good friends with them, so.
Nice.
But yeah, Priest rules.
One piece of advice for budding musicians, people who are trying to form bands? What would you tell?
It's the end of the tour, don't ask me.
He gets a little jaded at this time.
Don't tour for 10 months.
I would say just always stay committed to what you want to do. If you're a musician, that's what you do. Even us, we're pretty wild, and stuff, but we take music very seriously. And we take, the performance aspect of it. And I remember I think that the one piece of advice I could give would just always be doing something to further your career in music, whether that is playing your instrument or going to shows or booking shows and playing them with your friends or throwing parties and playing them. Just constantly play and be true to what you want to do. I think when people look back and they say, oh, I could never make it in music, I don't know if they always tried as hard as they say they do. And the reason I say that is because that's all I've done every day since I was about 7 years old. So I'm very lucky to be here, but that's what it takes. It takes a lot of luck and a lot of hard work to be able to get into that position. So I'd say never stop, working and to work hard towards what you want.
What he said.
Yeah.
Party hard.
He'd say the other thing. He'd go, don't do it.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Do something else.
I guess that is the other side, because here's the funniest thing. Most people, friends, family, and fans, think that we just arrived on the jet, and the yacht's parked somewhere out there in the river, and we had
the sweet ocean.
Yep,
just a sweet beach.
Well, the sweet beaches of Detroit. The beautiful beaches and oceans, and then 80 maidens, just naked maidens carry us to and from the stage. It's nothing like that. It is nothing like that. I don't know how to do anything else, so I wouldn't want to do anything else. But music and music business is a very, 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 very tough industry, and the musician is by far the last person to get paid. So keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. And then when you do get paid, you're driving in a van with 4 sweaty guys going to the next show.
For 10 months.
For 10 months.
Yep. Living on top of each other, literally, and that's the thing. But what always makes it okay is when you get to the stage. And we just played in Japan, and it was 95,000 people, and then we played last night and there was maybe 100 people. So people will be like, oh man, do you get upset when there's this? And I was like, if there's 5 people, we give the same exact performance that we do if there's 100,000 people. It's just we love to play, and I think when you watch a Harlot show, you'll notice that we laugh a lot, and we have a lot of fun playing our music ourselves. So hopefully that translates to the listener and to the audience.
Thank you guys for coming here.
Thanks for having us.
Talking to us. And hopefully we'll see you back sooner rather than later. Sometime next year, we'll have another big show. We'll have some fun.
This is only our first one. We're going to be doing this a bunch, so get ready.
There you go. Thanks for coming by, guys.
Thanks, everybody.